The younger they are, the more responsibilities you have. So, let's take a sip. I wonder if we'll hear the foam. Probably not, right? No, okay, it quieted down. That is really cold. That froze my gum. Okay, so my experiment is working. Alright, so what was I saying? Yeah, so that, especially even more so if you're a mother, although I know things keep evolving, okay? But at least in my situation, me as the mother, I took on more of the burden mentally, and physically. I think I just was more involved in everything that was going on with my kids. So, it's like their worries become your worries, their problems are your problems, their good happinesses, those are your happinesses, Big time. Anyway, you really don't think there's gonna come a day when these kids are gonna move out and that whole role that you had is gonna be completely turned upside down. Like, you'll still be a mother once they move out, but it's like night and day. Okay. So last year, my kids were seniors, and you all know the whole pandemic situation, so sometime mid-March, they had to stop going to school and do the homeschooling. They didn't get to have a senior prom, no senior trip, like all the things that are fun about being a senior, they missed. It's a real shame. But that's that. Nothing we can do. They did have a decent graduation. The school did a good job of breaking up graduation into 6 weren't exactly sure what the plan would be. They would let everybody know for sure, one way or another, by the very last day of August, I think. So they were going to tell you by then whether you were going to be able to move in at all, and if so, when. And things were happening during that time, and we kept hearing stories about colleges where the kids had moved in, and there were a lot of, outbreaks, and people were being sent home, and some colleges just completely said, everyone go home, and whatever. So, he finally got word that they were letting them move in Labor Day weekend. So not the most convenient time to travel with your kid on a holiday weekend, but whatever. And each kid was given an appointment, a specific 2-hour time slot when he or she can move in with 2 parents, or 2 people can move them in, and that's it. And only during the 2 hours. So, and he would have 1 in-person class. That's it. The rest of his classes, he would sit in his dorm room and take the classes in his dorm room. There weren't allowed to be gatherings or parties. They said if you are found getting together in groups of, I think, 15, you'll get expelled. And we were, kind of skeptical and said to him, maybe you don't want to bother. Like, it doesn't sound like it makes that much sense to move in. It's not going to be the real college experience, and you're putting your health at risk, and obviously it's going to cost a chunk of change to go live there. And for what? It's hard to keep it quiet. So, he said he wants to move in. No way. No way he doesn't want to move in. He said staying home is just absolutely not what he wants to do. Just seemed too dreary to him. Not what he was thinking of at all. And even though this wouldn't be ideal, this is what he wanted to do. And he already had a roommate, that he had found somehow through the system, someone he didn't actually know. But they had, met online, so. And he had even, gotten to know most of the other boys that were to be on his dorm floor. They had some kind of, I don't know if it was a Zoom meeting or, unofficial, but just amongst themselves somehow got together online at a time. Anyway, so he chose to go ahead with that. And so, we went forward and bought him all the stuff. Bedding, sheets, towels, comforter, laundry bag, laundry detergent, a fan, shower shoes, a shower caddy, so many things. A mattress pad. It's like a foam, bumpy, pad that you put on top of the mattress, so it's got a little more cushion. A little bit of decorations, not much. We got him a refrigerator because the ones that you order from the, school, they didn't have any more left. So we had to buy him a refrigerator and a microwave. Meanwhile, his roommate backed out. His roommate decided not to move onto campus. So he was going to be having the double room as a single. They weren't putting in anyone else. Because it's not like there was anyone new to add, into the mix. So, when it came time, we packed up the car. We drove next year, maybe in a few months, or maybe next September, but for now, she's still here. So it's nice that I still have her here. So anyway, that is my story. It might have been a little bit disorganized, or maybe a little boring. I don't know. And maybe I didn't drink enough soda to make this a good soda drinking video. But there have been a lot of things that older people have told me that I didn't really believe that turned out to be true. Because ultimately I found out on my own. Like when I had my babies, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. All this crying. And people would say to me, it gets much harder, believe me. And I'm like, no, nothing could be harder than having two babies crying all the time. Like, nothing could be harder than that. And they say, little children, little problems. Big children, big problems. And I was like, no, honey, nope. I don't buy it. Like, dead fast. Like, that was my belief. And oh boy, they're right. Okay? When you have babies, it's hard to deal with things like crying and changing diapers and, that kind of stuff. It's kind of physical, physical stuff that you have